Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be, almost lifted and said my regular spiel. This is going to be a no communication reading for those who are dealing with Scorpios at this time, who are not in communication with Scorpios. Hello, viewer, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world. I hope that you are safe, happy, and healthy at this time. Please continue to take very good care of yourself and those that you know and love in the middle of this pandemic that is still it's still kind of important, okay? Anyway, this reading is ideal for those folks, like I said at the top and like it says there on the thumbnail. If you are not speaking with a Scorpio, talking, texting, phoning, letter writing, sending carrier pigeons, or, and no sneaky, tell Scorpio what I said, none of that kind of stuff. This is possibly the ideal reading for you. We're going to see some insight coming from Scorpio to you, the viewer. You could be a Cancer, you could be a Libra, you could be another Scorpio, you could be a Capricorn. It really doesn't matter what your sign is, but if you are looking for insight as to what a particular Scorpio in your life is up to or what they might want to say to you at this time, we're going to look and see those messages from this Oracle deck and this Tarot deck. This deck here, or these two decks here, are going to be messages from you to them. So I'm assuming when people see their own sign on videos, they might want to take a sneaky peek at it. So there will be messages going the other direction as well. But before we get into any of that, I want to remind you that the timestamp is in the description box for those who want to jump ahead. Feel free to click it. That's why I put it there. Also down there, you're going to find the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have a question before you place an order, what you might need to do, it's kind of explained already, but if you just want to clarify something before you place an order, feel free to ask me using the same email address that is listed below. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link to my Instagram account is over there, EmpathicFire Tarot, okay? Alright guys, let's get into it. We're going to use this Oracle deck to get some messages to begin the reading, coming from Scorpio to the viewer. If the lines of communication were to open up between these two parties, what would Scorpio like to say? What insights do we have from Scorpio during this time of no communication that can be shared? From Scorpio to the viewer, please. Messages from Scorpio to the viewer, please show me. Okay, they're like that. It's fine. They're like, it's fine, it's fine. So let's go. One card, please, from Scorpio to the viewer. Please show me. Am I going to watch a movie tonight? Maybe that'll be fun. I haven't watched a movie in so long. Or I should say a new movie. Maybe I'll watch a new movie. Anyway, just talking to myself. Sorry, guys. Messages from Scorpio to the viewer. Please show me. One card, please, from Scorpio to the viewer. Oh. That kind of hit my thumb. No, they want the top. Okay. Surrender. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Well, viewer, in some cases, this is Scorpio telling you, surrender. And that can be read two ways. That can be read as give it up, leave me alone. Or that can be read as surrender to something higher than yourself. Surrender to a higher power, spirit, God, the universe, whatever, and kind of align yourself to a more spiritual side. They're not really giving me much of a breakdown of how that energy goes, but like that first, like leave me alone, surrender, give it up kind of energy, that exists for some of you. Some of you, the Scorpio is just like, if you could just like exit stage left, that'd be great. And just kind of disappear out of my life, or just forget about me. Perfect. Ah, okay, that's another, that's like three different ways. So some are like, using the Scorpio stinger and like, if you don't leave me the F alone, there will be trouble, there will be hell to pay. Others who are saying surrender, given to the divine, I want you to grow spiritually, or, something like that. There's another group that says surrender in the sense of like, leave me alone. I'm not, like, you can't save me. Something like that. Like, leave me be, leave me behind, or don't worry about me. Something like that. It's less venomous than the first group, but it's still like this, let me be by myself. Don't come around me. Don't, look for me. Don't, something about that. Interesting. There's like three different, like, connotations that are coming through of this idea of surrender. Okay. I don't know if we're going to continue to talk about all three groups, but like that's like three ways that they're like boom, boom, boom. And you know, Scorpio, it's a general collective, so you're all going to be dealing with different Scorpios coming from different perspectives, dealing with different standpoints and opinions and all that stuff. Further, what else do we have? Surrender. Yeah. If it's not directed to you, viewer, I think this would be more of a declarative statement coming from Scorpio. I am surrendering. I am giving into something. In not all of their cases, in some of their cases, they're doing like, you know, spiritual work. They're working with their higher power, whatever that is to them, angels, a particular god or goddess, whatever. You know, straight up, it could be, you know, Buddha or Allah. It could be whoever, whatever their personal belief is. They are working with that for spiritual growth, enlightenment, finding peace in their life, finding solace in their life. In some of their cases, that's their way of trying to recuperate or recover from something. In other cases, it sort of is like this I give up, like white flag surrender. Some of them are having a hard time fighting through something and they would much rather give it all up. Or in some other cases, it's like they are embattled or embroiled in some type of conflict and they are putting up a hell of a fight, hoping for the other side, whatever that means. And it could be you, you know, that they're directing this to, but whoever the other side is in terms of this embroiled, embattled energy that I'm feeling, they want them to surrender. So it's a mixed bag, as tends to be how it happens around here when I do Scorpio's readings. I get so, like, I get like a 7-layer taco kind of energy. Like, not energy, but like messages, you know? There's like so many. Surrender. So we'll read a little bit from the book, and then we'll get into this with the tarot. So, surrender. A lone woman stands motionless in a field of flowers, as if caught in a poignant moment of realization. A gentle breeze carries tiny seed heads upward, and butterflies float from her open palm, like surrendered thoughts ascending to the heavenly realms. By drawing this card, the universe is highlighting possible resistance and attachments in need of your attention. You may have reached an impasse within a challenging predicament, or perhaps you are struggling to maintain control within a situation. If you are satisfied you can do no more, now is a good time to let go and surrender. Let your meditation be on the words, "Thy will, not my will." Unlike its little sister, resignation, the mighty act of surrender demands that you relinquish control by opening your heart and mind to the higher power. Have faith that whatever is given will be for your highest good and for the good of all concerned. Okay. So yeah, definitely many of them are getting into their spiritual lane, working on their vibrations, working on manifesting and co-creating. But more practically in like the day-to-day, there could be certain endings occurring on Scorpio's side, either between you or in their lives personally. It can go either way because it's a mixed bag. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates. It feels like the surrender of their own, like if Scorpios are being asked to release, it's not really their bag. Fixed water, it's really hard for a Scorpio to release when they don't want to. I mean, that's all, you know, that's not like down specifically to a zodiac or specifically to Scorpios. Most people are like that. If I want to continue to do something, I'm going to continue to do something. Or if I feel compelled, or if I feel obligated, or if I feel a sense of duty or responsibility, whatever the reason. But this particular oracle card is highlighting that for the highest good of themselves, another person, you viewer, whatever combination of people and energies that it would affect the most, it is very difficult for Scorpio to surrender this or surrender control, relinquish whatever they need to, right? There's something about possibly in some of their cases, pride or ego. The idea of like surrender feels like defeat. And, you know, I don't know the specifics, but I could easily understand where that comes from, where this feeling of surrender and releasing control can make us feel as if we've been defeated, when actually, again, from a higher perspective, from what spirit knows, from what the universe or any God you believe in or don't believe in kind of can see, it's actually beneficial. And that's a hard, whatever, I'm not going to sit here and preach about it, but that is very difficult because, you know, human perspective is very oftentimes so limited, okay? But anyway, that's just me yammering on. And I didn't ask questions, but we're not going to take it. But that kind of, I'm going to acknowledge it, the Five of Cups. So definitely crying over spilled milk, not really being on board with certain endings, regretting certain endings, or resistance to certain endings. But let's get further information from the tarot besides that. Any information coming from Scorpio to the viewer, what would they like to say at this time? Under no communication. If the lines of communication were to open up, what would Scorpio's message be to the viewer? What would they like them to know? Messages from Scorpio to the viewer, please show me. Why can't I shuffle? Scorpio to the viewer, please show me. Last one, thank you. They were like really late confirming that. I was like, this feels good. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's good. Messages from Scorpio to the viewer, please show me. No, that wasn't it. Thank you. Messages from Scorpio to the viewer. Ay, 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 ay. Hello? One. From Scorpio to the viewer, please show me. Ten of Pentacles. Oh boy. All right. They both came around the same time, but I don't know which order they're... It's like that. Okay, they want it like that. Cool. All right. Scorpio's got a little more to say than the average bear because I've been taking like 3 cards for the different layers of messages. Anyway, first card out was Ten of Cups. Oof. Ten of Pentacles. Geez, drop. Oh. I don't know if that was upright or not. Come on. They're like, take it like that. Okay. So I guess I dropped it on purpose, eh, Spirit? And 3 of Swords. Okay, listen. Oh, okay. Ooh. Ooh. Scorpio would tell you, viewer, possibly what you already know is what this feels like. It feels like a confirmation for many of you. Not all, but many of you, this is a confirmation. There has been issues surrounding a home situation, a long-standing family situation that Scorpio has been in. If you are family members with Scorpio, of course you know about this, or maybe you've heard rumblings and rumors throughout your the grapevine of your family. But there has been something about a changing of the tides or changing of the times. Tides and times is how they're saying it. And also a changing of the guard. What I'm feeling here is a passing of the torch from older generations to younger generations. And while that is a natural progress that happens in all families across all kinds of generational lines, we all eventually become the monarchs and the patriarchs of our individual families, right? Because that's life. It feels like there is a junction. Why are they saying junction? I don't know why they're saying that, but they're saying junction. There's a junction. There's an impasse. The word impasse, was that here in the oracle deck? Did we use the word impasse? I think so. There's an impasse going on. There's something that isn't necessarily trudging along. It's not naturally progressing, or there are certain changes coming about in terms of this tarot, this being 2 pairs of tens. Certain endings are coming about that are not readily appreciated. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles together are meant to signify happy conclusions or reaching a certain pinnacle point, a certain apex in the situation. You've accomplished one goal and you're ready to start another. And that all might be true. But because it came out with the Tower in the side position and the 3 of Swords, listen, honey, listen, guy, this is not jiving with someone. Could not be jiving with Scorpio because they've got the words, or they've got the oracle card surrender, which is basically, the universe saying, listen here, Scorpio, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, please, give me that. And Scorpio's holding it behind their back going, no, I don't want to give you the ball. Or no, I'm not done playing with this. I'm not done doing this. So Scorpio could be resistant, or Scorpio is dealing with other people that are resistant. It's either way. I don't know the details. But that tower in the side position is indicating that something hasn't completely ended. You have two signals of ending or certain chapter completions with the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Things are meant to be wrapping up, or things are meant to be evolving past a certain point. Like I said, changing of the times, changing of the tides, changing of the guard, where maybe in a situation there is an older family member who is resistant to being basically usurped. And that I use that word because that is how that person would feel. If this is a grandparent or a parent who's used to kind of calling the shots, or used to having their opinion kind of factor in more than it is being allowed to at this moment, they are so fucking resistant to that. They feel disrespected, they feel ignored, they feel sort of ostracized or rejected from their family. And okay, and this happens for several reasons. In some of your cases, it's to do with family business and finances, because again, that Ten of Pentacles has to do with like inheritance sometimes, power of attorney, things like that. And I just get the sense that somebody feels discounted. They feel as if they are not being given their due. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on, because they're like, put this with this. So the other aspect that is going on here is some type of, and I hate saying this, or not that I hate it, but I don't like to call it this because it immediately makes people think wild things, and it doesn't have to be this. But there is some third-party situation here that has really thrown a monkey wrench into some type of commitment. Or some type of family structure, if not a commitment or a marriage or something like that. I don't know the specifics of everybody's situation, but this tower halfway, it's not upright, it's not in the reverse. It's happening, but it's not happening either as cleanly. Okay, why do I say that? And then we're going to go back to third party. Think of a demolition of a building. That's a technical thing you must do. To take down a tall building and do it safely, you have to have specialists. You have to have demolition specialists. You have to rope off blocks and blocks or of streets so that people don't get hurt or, inhale too much of the dust and the debris or whatever that's down there, right? It is something that must be planned. And when it happens, when somebody hits the ignition, or hits the detonator, I should say, you want the entire building to crumble in one go, right? This is not that. This is someone hits the detonator and half the building falls down. Somebody hits the detonator, the charge goes up, and nothing blows apart. There has been a button that has been hit, but the demolition to it, the building, I'm using this as a metaphor, not an actual building. Whatever the structure is, a family unit, a business, a friendship, whatever we're talking about, it's not fully done. It's not fully demolished, and it's supposed to be. The tower comes along, and it is often not pleasant, but it is always necessary when we do tarot. It's always what is meant for your higher good. But like I said, universe is like, hey, Scorpio, I'm gonna detonate this. Give me the ball. I'm gonna hit the detonator, and we're gonna take this out of your life. And Scorpio's like, no. Or Scorpio is dealing with people who say, Scorpio, don't allow it. Scorpio, I said no. And Scorpio's like, my hands are tied. They told me, and they feel put upon. I feel obligation. I feel being told what to do, as opposed to what you want to do. Right now, back to this one. 3 of Swords. Third party situation. Caveat for that in my readings is always, it cannot be, and it most likely is not a romantic thing for everybody. It's not always a cheating scenario. It's not always, some illicit affair. A third party situation can be an interfering boss, or someone has a substance abuse problem, or somebody has an interloping mother-in-law, something like that, or a best friend who's like insanely jealous of another pair of friends within a larger friend circle. It can go so many ways, but that's what's going on here. I feel undue influence here, and Scorpio knows that. And all the things that I've said, I feel Scorpio knows that you know. or you heard rumor, you know a little bit. And as Scorpio tends to do, and I just did Cancer's reading and it's giving me this very similar vibe, there's something about not wanting to reveal the whole truth. Tower in the side position. Not wanting to explain the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. Not wanting to acknowledge how the 3 of Swords is affecting the situation. And possibly not wanting to take accountability if Scorpio is the person who is the interloper, or the person who is showing resistance, or the person who is not wanting the tides to change, or, you know, to give up their power in the dynamic, right? There's something about you. I know you know, but I don't want you to know. Or I know you know that much, but you don't need to know it all, right? So we're asking for insight, but the details is not really what the Scorpio wants to reveal. Further information. Why did I do that? I like to keep it a little artsy and like keep it splayed before we actually move on. So, further information coming from Scorpio to the viewer. What would Scorpio like to say to the viewer at this time? I'm really getting also like guilt trip coming from that 10 of Pentacles, like older family members, like, well, this is how you, it's like, well, this is how you treat me, huh? After everything I've done for you. And, you know, that would really hurt a Scorpio's feelings, truly. For those where they feel they have done their best by their parents or by their older siblings or whoever. I've tried to be a good son to you, or I've tried to be a good employee here. Like there's criticism. That's the point. There's criticism that is sort of tearing at the confidence of Scorpio, or making Scorpio feel like maybe me surrendering, releasing control, or trying to possibly obtain my own control, my control over myself, control over my own life, my own finances. You know, that's the other thing. I'm getting, this is not for everybody, but this is an example. Like, say you work like for a small business and you're very dedicated to that job. It feels like a boss is like catching wind that you want to, you know, you want a different job. You want to move on with your career. You know, where you are, you're kind of capped out in your salary. There's not much. Maybe you just want to be in a different industry. And I feel that someone is like criticizing someone for wanting to move on with their life. Well, you're just going to leave us here in the lurch? It's a job, baby. It's a free market. You know, or free, you know, like the society that we live in is that this is basically at will employment. There's nothing, if I'm not under contract, I'm allowed to leave whenever I want. So there's something about, anyway, let's go, move on. You get what I'm saying. Further information from Scorpio to the viewer. I don't know what that's about. I don't like that. Scorpio to the viewer, please. Further information that they'd like to share at this time. If lines of communication, 3 all together now. Hey now, hey. Interesting. Are we keeping that in the side position? No, they want it upright. Interesting. All right. So, further information. 9 of Cups, interesting. Knight of Cups, and the King of Cups. Talk about emotions. Talk about the feels. I think Scorpio is on the path to finding happiness. It feels like Scorpio would acknowledge. It doesn't feel like they're happy now. And if they are, I think it's kind of false, if I'm honest. If they're doing that, okay, let me rephrase. Hold on. They're beginning to have this, or they can, visual. Seeing it. Maybe like the Oracle card was saying, the moment you begin to release, the moment you begin to surrender, you allow in this energy of abundance, of happiness, of joy, and all that kind of stuff. It's like the transition. It's sort of like a relay race, right? When you pass the baton from one runner to the next, right? In that moment between the handoff, there's a chance that the baton can slip and fall to the ground, and you know your chances of winning the gold medal sort of fall to pieces, right? Because you'd have to recoup that time that you've lost. And I feel that maybe Because Nine of Cups even though this cat looks smug as fuck, right? This cat looks so happy because he got the canary, right? But the traditional interpretation of that Nine of Cups in tarot is wish fulfillment, right? I've wished, I've hoped, I've prayed, I've worked, I've manifested, I've done mantras, whatever I do, whatever you do, he does, whoever does, right? I've put in my cosmic order, my cosmic wish to be fulfilled, to be happier. And perhaps some of them are beginning to do that work. Perhaps some of them have been doing that work since you've not in big communication with them. In other cases, they're still unsure how to do, or they're still formulating what would make me happy, what's going to make me feel better coming out of whatever sideways tower moment is over here, you know? So it could be a work in progress. And I feel like it's mostly a work in progress because after that, you've got the Knight of Cups. Water sign energy. This is all water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be a fellow water sign viewer. It really doesn't matter. But this is progression. And this is progression towards a lighter heart, of being more fulfilled within your heart space, within your emotional body, within your soul to a certain degree, right? Passion in some of your cases. And that doesn't have to speak solely to people who are romantically looking out for messages from Scorpio. Passion exists in even the work you do, or you can have passion for your friends. You can be passionately interested in platonic relationships. You know, it really doesn't have to be limited to romance and sex and all that stuff. But for those where it plays and that's what you're hoping to hear, there you go. But it feels like remembering, or for possibly the first time recognizing that they're capable. Oh, yes, capable. Because again, look at the look at the artwork here on the Nine of Cups. Here's a cat that's gotten the canary, gobbled it up. But how? If we presume that the canary was in that cage. I'm sure many of you have stories of cats getting into things and other animals getting into things that you thought were secure, but we don't readily assume that a cat can swing open a cage and, consume the bird that sits inside. They don't have thumbs. It seems very unlikely. And it seems unlikely that a bird with its little beak and its little claws or whatever, or talons or whatever, would be able to open up. You know what I mean? Like, from a human's perspective, this doesn't seem possible unless a human accidentally left that cage open. So left up to its own devices and its own abilities, it seems that this cat is not able to get what it wants, but it does. And I think that's kind of surprising to Scorpio, or at least that's kind of what they're banking on. That's kind of what they're rolling the dice on. They might be up against some very serious adversaries, some very serious or challenging obstacles. Listen, yes, but for those that are on that trajectory, or those that are open to it, if they allow in the energy of the universe, the energy of whatever they believe in or don't believe in, whatever they practice or don't practice, if they align themselves, and I've been saying this for several readings throughout this series, so it's really even it's even more of a major message for the collective. If you begin to work with the fucking universe, you begin to get whatever you want. Now, does that mean you wish today for $1 million and when you wake up tomorrow you're going to have it? No, that's not how that works. It's much more practical and it's much more personal. You know what I mean? If you want $1 million, you're not probably going to get it by hitting the lotto unless you start to play the lotto, right? But even more specifically, the universe isn't like that. The universe doesn't usually hand you something on a silver platter. You kind of have to offer something in exchange. Oh God, how can I give you an example? Okay, basically, a quick example. I needed something for work and I had to pay a lot of money for it. And when I got the thing that I needed for work, I was kind of like, this isn't exactly what I want, but it'll do for now. And I started to use them, and then I was just like, you know what? No, I actually want to send this back. I actually want to, buy something else and replace this. When I went to send the thing back, right, I was told, because this happened in the time of Corona, it's fine, keep it. Here, and they gave me a full refund. So I got something for free. It's not ideal. It's not, it does what it's supposed to do, and I'm satisfied. I'm especially satisfied because it was for free. And I was like, consuming myself for a couple of weeks, like, oh, I got to get this. I got to buy this thing. I researched, I looked at, I compared prices, I compared products. And then eventually I was like, okay, this one will do. It came to my house and I was like, I'm not over the moon about this. All right, I'll use it for a while. And then, eventually I was like, no, I don't really want it. Let me pay a higher price. Let me get ready to pay more money to get the one that I should have gotten in the first place. And they're like, no, here, have it for free, essentially. Now I'm using the hell out of that item. You see what I mean? So it's not like it's going to give it to you directly. You have to offer something in exchange to get wish fulfillment. And I feel that Scorpio is realizing that. And they're on the move. They're on the pathway to creating that, to manifesting that, to co-creating that, whatever it is that they want. But again, you got to sacrifice some things. Tower moment. You got to sacrifice some things. Surrender. Okay? Will they? When will they? Who knows? I can't predict that, and I'm not reading that. But what I see is someone preparing themselves for a long journey, and possibly, thank you, maybe that's not the best word, going towards the King of Cups. Whether it's a return, I don't know. Okay, this King of Cups could be Scorpio's own energy, could be your energy, viewer, could be the energy of someone else in their life or someone else they've yet to meet, whatever it is. But I feel there's a journeying going towards the King of Cups, right? Because what do knights do? Knights work in the employ of the leader of the castle, the leader of, the realm, whatever it is, right? The empire, right? So the knight answers to, in certain respects, the King of Cups. Now, if this was Scorpio's own energy, they answer to themselves. They answer to the maturity, the mature reasoning, and the mature possession. What is the word I want here? Mature reasoning, like something about acknowledgement, like being true. Maybe that's it. Being true. Not. Could be that. Could be that. Okay. Yes. What I'm sensing here, going back to that idea that in a family structure, there's like this guilt tripping or criticism of how could you do this? We depend on you, or this person did blah, 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 and you're letting us down. And there's like some guilt trip of you're doing this and it's hurting the family, or it's hurting me, or it's hurting this person, and blah, 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 blah. I feel like Scorpio is realizing that's a false narrative, or that's meant to dissuade them, that's meant to control them, that is meant to criticize them when maybe they're not worthy, or not worthy, they're not deserving of that criticism. So there's like a maturing, there's like realizing that I'm not going to be swayed by these emotional pleas by my family, my friends, my wife, my husband, whoever, my children, whoever. I'm not going to be strong-armed. People aren't going to play my emotions against me. There it is. Play my emotions, my sensibilities against me. The King of Cups would never allow that, especially in the upright position in a tarot reading. So there is a maturing going on Scorpio's side, or within the situation. If you're a friend of theirs, a colleague of theirs, whatever, they might see you as that, and they might be coming to you for counsel. But because it's a no communication reading, I'm going to say most of this is being done by Scorpio, all by themselves. Nobody knows but them. Very typical of what they do. So that is their message from them to you, viewer, Scorpio to you. We're going to switch gears and go from the viewer to Scorpio. So Scorpio, if you're here, hello, this part of the reading might be important to you. And if you're sticking around as the viewer, maybe you'll see a little bit of your own energy affirmed here if you care to watch, okay? So messages from the viewer to Scorpio, please, using this oracle deck. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio at this time. Lines of communication were to open up. What would the viewer like to say to Scorpio? Those who are not in communication with Scorpio, what would they like to say? That's good, thank you. Ooh, what was that? I like rolled my shoulders. That's like the first time I've done that, I think. From the viewer to Scorpio, please. What are the messages that the viewer would like to share with Scorpio at this time? What would they like to say if the lines of communication were to open up? One card, please, from the viewer to Scorpio. What would they like to say? Why don't you want to talk to Scorpio? What's the problem? Some of you guys are like, they know the problem. No. Others of you are like, there's no problem. This is a very interesting energy. This is like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Maybe I do want to say something. Maybe I don't want to say anything. Blah, blah, blah. Come on. What would you like to say? Nothing? One more time, please, before I pick. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio. That's it. The top. The child I was meant to be. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Interesting. That's interesting to me because of what I know this deck is all about. And just the different artwork and colors and everything in there. The child I was meant to be, card number 8. The child I was meant to be. If this is, if you guys are related to Scorpio, brother, sister, parent, child, cousins, aunties, uncles, whatever. There's an acknowledgement here, viewer, from you guys to Scorpio, or Scorpio from the viewer to you, whichever way you, I don't know who I'm addressing, so we'll just leave it that way. There's like an acknowledgement that things back then, whatever that means to you guys, just, it wasn't really fair. It wasn't really, things didn't go the way, quote unquote, they were supposed to, it feels like. In some cases, it feels like cut short. Time cut short. Like what I'm getting is like, I'm just going to use this as an example, and it's not for everybody clearly, but what I'm seeing is like a child that was like put into foster care, that was adopted out by another member of the family, and like their biological parent, kind of skipped town and then came back and wanted to be a part of the child's life, but there was like a barrier there. And so this child had a lot of upheaval, a lot of emotional distress, and they just were essentially robbed of their childhood. That's just a very specific example. Take from that what you need. More information, please. The child I was meant to be. Could also be the child stayed with the biological parent, but like the roles were reversed. So like the child became the parent, and the parent was always like very immature, not dependable, not somebody who took their responsibilities seriously, something like that. Or more. Here it comes. In some of your cases, this is like an ex, like you share children together, or you were planning to have children together, and either one of you weren't ready for that step, and so this kind of like separated you, and that could be why you're not talking, or that could be like the breaking point of your relationship. In some of your cases, like, yeah, it's just like the potential is not here. Okay. Card number 8, that might be significant for some of you. Let's turn to the book. Oh wait, they're like anything else. Let me see, anything else. Yeah, I'm getting like separation, like, and I'm also getting this energy of like a childhood, the status of a child. Come on back. What was that? The status of a child was not correct. Ooh, girl or guy. False paternity. Ooh. I don't know how it plays, but there could be an instance where someone thought their mother or father was their mother or father, and that's not the case. The person they thought was their parent is not their parent. The child, or the reverse, the child they thought was theirs was not theirs. false paternity. I guess you could also do false maternity. I don't know how. I think that's a little harder to pull off. Like, but that could be going on. Wow. Okay. I could make a joke, but I'm not going to. Oh, and I always do this. Always, always, always. Here you go. Something to look at instead of me like holding a rock. This book mentions moon phases, so this is the full moon phase. An instant of clarity is the light I needed. To go forward is to go backward, as hope heals the wounds of the past. There is a little darkness in this card. There is little darkness in this card. It is a card of connection with ourselves. So many times it feels like a dream. It's fleeting, uncertain, and yet clear. The moment you close your hand to grasp it, it turns into fairy light and disappears. But it remains as a lingering smell, and ephemeral feeling of light, and peaches and blossoms. It is faith, it is hope. It is a warm smile at the other side of the forest of smoke and mirrors. We can be whole again. We can be pure again. We can be happy again. No matter what we did, we can. Just know this is a gift of life among the cruel darkness. It brings no road, sometimes no solace, but it can become a seed of hope, a wind of change, a place of safety in the storm. Even if it's gone, it's definitely here. Interesting. So I'm getting from that message, tying into what we were talking about earlier, from this side, it feels like there would be more hope towards reconciliation, towards mending fences, towards kind of letting bygones be bygones, and, you know, kind of erring on the side of hope, erring on the side of faith, erring on the side of, you know, bringing light to darkness. Very, very high level spiritual concepts. Mid to high, I guess I should say, mid to high spiritual concepts, some apologies and everything like that. And I want to highlight something. Oh my God, you guys are going to have the longest reading. Of course. This card, like it says in the book, has a lot of light in it. This deck is called the Dark Mirror deck. And I just want to show you these cards. Dark, dark, a little bit of light, or considerable light, a little bit of light, dark, pretty dark, 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 dark. It's mostly dark cards. The images on these cards are mostly dark. This card that came out is the one with the most color in it. Greens, purples, yellows, blues, right? So there's definitely this idea of out of darkness comes light, out of the murky corners of the world, murky corners of our own mind. We are trying to be more positive, or try to, you know, err on the side of things that are good. Yeah? So let's see what the message is via the tarot. Scorpios, or people who are dealing with Scorpios. You guys always take me here. You guys always have very in-depth readings from me. I have 1 or 2 placements. I think it's 1 placement of Scorpio in my chart. Oh, what house is it in? Is it 8th house? That would make sense. I gotta look back at my chart. It's not one of like my main placements, so I tend to forget it. But anyway, I know it's there. All right, so messages from the viewer to Scorpio, please. What would they like to say to Scorpio at this time if the lines of communication were to open up? What are their messages to Scorpio at this time? Thank you. Let's see. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio, please show me. 7 of Wands, defensive positions. 10 of Cups, ooh. All right, so this feels like that, okay, and you get 4. Oh no, that's 3. We're not taking that. However, I will point out Scorpio's card was there, Death and the Sun behind it. Secondary major for Leo, the Sun. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. We're not doing 5. So one more time, please. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio. Like, they're like, I think they wanted me. Okay, see. And the Emperor and the Knight of Cups. Fire, water, fire, water, fire, water, fire, water. Mm-hmm. All right. I think they all come out at once, yeah? Okay, yes. All right, so 7 of Wands, 10 of Cups, Emperor, Major Arcana for Aries. You could be an Aries viewer, and the Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Any sign that I mention outside of Scorpios is just a mention. Plug it in if it fits. If not, don't worry about it. So, 7 of Wands. defensive positions, feeling like you have to stand on a certain principle or guard yourself or guard something worth, something of worth, something of value to you. Like I said, could be principles, could be a connection or a relationship, could be material possessions in some cases, because we did have the Ten of Pentacles back here, and I am feeling that because I know the Ten of Cups is coming out behind it or up next. This could be a fight between family members or some disagreement between family members, and it feels this side, this side, Scorpio, is really wanting you to let bygones be bygones, or they're fighting to maintain something in the family while you or the universe, like, or whoever's resistant. It could be this side, it could be, I don't know who it is. There could be a resistance to the resistance, or this message is the resistance. It can go either way. So this side could be fighting for you to release and relinquish Scorpio. This could be the side that's holding on tight, holding on for dear life. Something like that. I can't, it's very unclear. It's a mixed bag. It feels most strongly that this, because, you know, in general, Scorpio 8th house energy is about death and transformation, is about being reborn, living the journey of the phoenix over and over and over again in your life. And I've mentioned this in Scorpio's readings throughout the year, and probably last year and up until I started doing tarot, that is something that they do. If that's the case, and Scorpio is seeking transformation or is ready to embrace some type of change, it feels like this side is having a hard time accepting that change, or they're not understanding it, and there might be some, if not resistance, like I said earlier, some type of criticism here. I get the sense for those where this is like historical, back to childhood or younger years for someone involved here, it could be this whole argument of, well, that happened 20 some years ago. When are you going to get over it? When is it ever going to be enough? How, I can't apologize for things of the past. Like that type of argumentation might be coming out. And that's frustrating, or that creates blockages beyond being frustrating and beyond being, you know, kind of, you know, an easy excuse, in my opinion, but, you know, whatever. It can create blockages because when you don't accept that someone is not satisfied, but it's something about like, why isn't my apology enough? Or blah, blah. And that's the thing, you know, an apology is just words, right? There we go. There it is. Apologies can be made very quickly. Here it goes. I apologize. See how easy that was, right? My sincerity, it's up for question. It's up for debate. If someone is going to apologize to you or try to make amends, they have to create action behind their words, right? So I get the sense that there could be a person here who is full of apologies and doesn't actually follow through, and wants to apologize only to safeguard the Ten of Cups. Potentially for some of you, not for everybody. Ten of Cups, again, is talking about long-term or longevity of happiness, sort of getting to that plateau or that apex stage in a relationship, in a commitment, in a family structure, in a business structure, whatever, and having fulfillment, right? And like I said earlier, tens talk to culmination points. We go right back down to the ace and we start the journey over and over and over again. Life is nothing but cycles. That's just a general principle that I've understood through tarot and other esoteric work that I'm doing. I get the sense that this person is like, there's no reason to reset. There's no reason to let go of this Ten of Cups feeling. There's no reason to change the guard, change the tides, go with the changing of the times. If there are new leaders in the business, in the family, in the dynamic between two people, if one person has been the breadwinner the entire time and now in this financial crisis they lost their job or they've lost their earning potential, whatever it is, and somebody else has to step in, I feel the sense like in that specific case, and I don't know that it would play for many people, someone is like operating out of insecurity. I'm the man, or I'm the head of the household. It doesn't have to be that, but that could be the argument. I'm the man. I'm supposed to take care of you. I'm supposed to take care of the bills. And they feel shamed or shameful or embarrassed that in this moment, they're not in control. They're not the leader of the pack. Very alpha, very type A kind of stuff. And in the moment of crisis, which, many families are facing, who cares? If the bills are getting paid and it's mom or sister or cousin or whoever else, or the kids stepping in to help your teenager or your young adult children who are helping you pay bills, what is the problem there? But somebody, possibly is operating from a prideful standpoint. So that's why I'm saying that. I forgot he was there. Hello again, Emperor. So this is very heavy masculine energy on this side. There's an acknowledgement of that. It doesn't have to be a man, but there is like this heavy energy of masculine authority or leadership qualities and my house, my rules, or I've always been the person who takes care of business, who provides for the family, provides for my employees, provides for whatever, provides for the self. The emperor could be a self-sustained energy. This could be, no offense to anybody, this could be a very stubborn grandpa or grandma in the family who's used to living independently. And the change that's coming out, the change that they're being defensive against is moving in with their relatives. Grandpa or grandma or whoever, you can't live alone anymore. It's not safe for you. You're more liable to slip and fall or something. Something may have happened. That could have been the halfway tower moment. Something could have happened where somebody got seriously injured. And based on that injury, now we as a family or whoever's the new patriarch or matriarch of the family makes a decision about this older generation. Okay, well, now that happened, we got to get you moved in with us, or we got to get you moved into a condo or like a ranch style house where it's one floor, no more up and down the stairs kind of stuff. And somebody's just like, you don't tell me what to do. What do you mean? You almost fucking died in here because something happened. Or, if it's not move you out, move someone in with you. And someone's just like, you don't know, I don't want to do that. And that's that surrender. Not give up your, life, but give up that aspect of your life. Oh, Lord. If it's not that, that's a very specific example. Again, it's like somebody who's used to being in control and like they don't want to lose control. They don't want to lose influence. They don't want to lose power. They don't want to relinquish, let go of. This could be Scorpio. This side could be, acknowledging, yeah, Scorpio, I see you're like hoarding that ball behind your back when the universe is telling you to give it up. And there is this like recognition that someone's not easing into this new phase of life, this new stage or this new precedence of life. Okay. Final card in this opening energy is the Knight of Cups. If this is like, it could be like in that specific scenario of like the older relative, this could have been like a disagreement between siblings on how to take care of your parents as they get older. Like it could be one side feels they're taking on this burden all by themselves and the other side is just like kind of, living their life and being fun and fancy free. And there's like a skirting of responsibilities, a skirting of duty and obligation, right? And I feel this is possibly an apology. Okay. There's two knights here because there was a Knight of Cups earlier. So there could be a mutual desire to bury the hatchet, to move on or to make amends over what has transpired recently. This feels like the most positive and auspicious energy out of the four, and it's a knight, so it's not super powerful. And like I said earlier, there could be some needing of, a need to mature, to level up. That's in progress, a work in progress, I think I said. Oh boy, that's another one. Here we go. Okay, so going back here, because they're like, don't forget that. So for those, because we did have, what did we have earlier? We had the Three of Swords, right? Didn't we? Yeah, we had a Three of Swords. And I said something about third-party energy. So there could be some resistance or a defense of the third-party situation. Either the primary unit is in the defensive posture, or there's a defensive posture, defensive energy being thrown towards third-party situation. I know my mom can be a lot, but she's my mom. Don't criticize her. Don't do this, blah, 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 blah. I know my boss is very demanding, but, this job is helping us pay the bills, so I got to keep doing this. There is some defense of the third party situation, or there is a defense of what's going on between the primary dynamic. I can't really tell which way it goes. but you know, or one of you knows the specifics. And there is like this defending it so that we can ensure this, so that we can maintain this, hold on to this, or at one point get to that. This could be an adversary. Emperor energy not only is masculine energy, it is, like I said before, leadership. So this can be a boss, or this can be a patriarch or a matriarch of a family, but it's someone who kind of calls the shots. And I feel as though possibly there is this desire to get away from the person that calls the shots, the person who's very demonstrative, the person who seeks to have absolute control, and go towards a more spiritual, calmer, peaceful energy, whether that be within the self or out, someone external to the relationship or whatever situation we're talking about. Interesting. Oh, Lord, let's hurry this up. Any final messages from the viewer to Scorpio at this time? Final messages from the viewer to Scorpio, please. Hermit. Virgo energy. Messages from the viewer to Scorpio. 9 of Cups. Wow, a lot of overlap there. Oh, God. Oh, no, that's 3. We're not taking that. We're not going to take that. I thought it was 2, and I was like, oh, man, we're going to be here for a minute. I'm looking for one more, please. One more card from the viewer to Scorpio, because, death. So it came out anyway, because that appeared earlier. So Hermit, again, Virgo, major arcana for Virgo. 9 of Cups, overlapping energy or mutual energy between Scorpio's reading and the death card, Scorpio's major arcana card. I feel there's like an acknowledgement here from the viewer to Scorpio that says the time apart, because Hermit is solitary energy. It's energy of self-reflection. You see this guy perched up, thank you, on this mountain, and ain't nobody around. He's not reading a book. He's not, well, he could be listening to music, but it's very reflective, and it's quiet. And it could be that mutually in this time apart, there has been an evaluation of what's going to make individuals happy. If this is friends, family, lovers, current lovers, ex-lovers, whatever the situation is, this side could be like, I too am trying to work on wish fulfillment with the 9 of Cups. Or if this is about separated partners of any type, this could be both sides are trying to evaluate which way we can come together and find wish fulfillment as a unit. Potentially. It'll go either way for everyone because you know your story. It could be for some, because of the Tower moment that's happening over here, and because this is a no communication reading, for some this could be on my own. I find my self-fulfillment and will transform myself. It could, or another way we can read that, because going back to Scorpio's oracle message, it could be, I recognize, Scorpio, the viewer could be telling Scorpio this, I recognize the work you're doing on yourself. I recognize how difficult it might be, or how alone you might feel in this time, or how confused or embattled you feel at this moment. And I admire that, or I'm allowing, quote unquote, I'm allowing. I understand why we're not in communication, or I understand why you've had to go away. I'm wishing the best for you, potentially, 9 of Cups, in your time of transformation. We can read this so many ways. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. But ultimately what I see is quiet reflection. And in that quiet reflection, possibly doing some type of spiritual work, some type of manifestation practice or meditation practice can lead this person as well. Because we've already talked about that with Scorpio's side of the message. I feel there's a mirroring going on here. If you're friends, it does. I don't really care what the type of relationship you have here is. There's a lot of similarities here. As much as there are moments of tension and conflict, there still is this mutual desire to elevate, mutual desire to get past the bad shit and move towards the good shit. Whether that means working in tandem with one another, linking up, being partners, being reconciled, or being separate. I think that's the specific that is missing, or that's the detail that's missing from this reading. But because the Nine of Cups has come out, we've had 2 Knight of Cups, we've had 2 Ten of Cups. There's like a lot of similar markers here, a lot of similar energy. So in the end, it feels it's going to be beneficial for both sides. But if they are working, like I said, together, coming together, I don't know. Nine of Cups, more about this Death card, because I think that's pretty much those two together. This Death card, it could indicate, Scorpio, that this person thinks of you heavily, because again, the Death card is Scorpio's major arcana card, so it could be that this person, for some, you weigh heavily on their heart in terms of Nine of Cups, or you could be their wish fulfillment. Again, that it doesn't have to be romantic, because this card came out and we talked extensively in this reading about family relationships. If this is about an estranged family member, if this is about in that, paternity question mark thing where one of your parents is not your actual biological parents, or both of them, this could be a biological parent coming back into your life, wanting to reconnect. Something like that in some cases. Not that that is extreme, but it happens, but it's also not like super normal. But there's something here where maybe the object of someone's fulfillment or happiness, or what they're wishing for, hoping for, is to be connected with the Scorpio, is to be connected with this person, again, represented by the Death card energy. Death in itself, in terms of tarot, again, represents transformations, death and rebirth, but also, they're like, but also, it could be the acceptance of a particular ending. It could be the acceptance that, we've tried to make things work. I want to be a part of your life as a parent, as a friend, as a lover, as whatever, right? It could be that biological parent coming back, or it could be that estranged family member coming back and getting a no-go. Like, it could be either side is saying, I appreciate you coming, I hear what you have to say, but I don't think us going forward is going to be beneficial, or, and there could just be a need to accept an ending, because that's the other thing about death. Death can be about endings, okay? I'm going to leave it there because I've been here forever. Viewer, whoever you are, Scorpio or someone else, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how it resonated. I love comments. If you want to share the video, let other people know you like watching my stuff, that'd be super, super cool. And of course, my friends, please subscribe if you haven't considered subscribing before. For this particular reading, no communication, no idea when I'm going to come back with it. They've seemed to be going in 5-month cycles thus far, so maybe I'll do this in January, who knows. But other than that, I will be back soon doing the mid-August readings. If you're subscribed, please make sure you have the notification bell clicked on so you can see when I upload to the channel, okay? And again, guys, if you want a personal reading with me, that information is in the description box, all right? Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.